Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher and this is Sweetwater's iOS update. This time out, a new synthesizer from Propellerhead software and a tech tip on using the Launchkey with the Apple Camera Connection Kit. Let's get started. Reason from Propellerhead software is a very popular music production workstation that runs on Macintosh and PC. It includes all sorts of processors, synthesizers, drum machines, sequencing, audio recording. Pretty much everything you need to do to create a production on your computer is included in Reason. One of the most powerful synthesizers in Reason is Thor. The Propellerhead folks have split off Thor and made it a standalone app that now runs on iOS devices, which is what we have open on my screen here. Thor provides 6 different oscillator types, 4 different filters, built-in effects, a built-in step sequencer, all sorts of capability for creating sounds. The iOS version of it is exactly the same as the version that runs inside of Reason, and in fact you can create patches on the iOS device and move them over to your computer and use them in Reason running there. Thor from iOS also includes features from Figure, which is a small music creation app that runs on iPhones and iPads. So it's a fun app to work with, very easy interface to deal with, yet it has all the power of the computer version of Thor. There are 3 basic screens in Thor that allow us to get all of our work done. The first screen is the keyboard screen. Obviously we have the on-screen keyboard here. We can play chords with that. By moving your fingers on the keys, you can get aftertouch effects. We also can open up modulation and pitch wheels over here. We can incorporate some of the features that are found in Figure. For example, we can limit the keyboard to working just in one key. You can collapse that down so that you never hit a wrong note. Every note that you hit, whatever key you're in or whatever chord you're playing over, will be an appropriate note to play with that chord or scale. Other features of the keyboard include a latch function that holds the keys. But we also have this strum feature. When we click on that, when you hold notes down, you can strum those notes. Or you can create a stab by holding a chord down and hitting the hit key. Switching over to the knobs window, this is where we actually do our synthesizer programming. We've got 4 sections here. There's an oscillator section, filter section, LFO and modulation section, and the final section is a global envelope as well as the chorus and delay effects. The other part of the routing window is the step sequencer, which is down here. Now, in addition to setting up notes that can be stepped through, up to 16 of those, we also can have different parameters that are sent by the sequencer as well. Velocity, gate length, step duration, and so we have the capability there of really creating complex modulation systems that route into and control the synthesizer that's playing on the other screen. Let's take a listen to some of the sounds that Thor can create. It can do everything from analog sounds to digital sounds. All sorts of different timbres are available in this very flexible synthesizer. Thor comes with more than 1,000 presets on board. You access those up here. There actually are a number of different sound banks. We've got signature sound banks from well-known sound designers. Then we have what I guess you would call the factory sounds as well. Basses, effects, lead synths, pads. And most of those sounds are set up with real-time control. So for example, if we choose a bass patch here, we'll choose the first one, we can play just the straight note. When we move the mod wheel, we bring in different modulation effects. So there's tons of different bass sounds available. We have a lot of other sounds as well. We can pop back over here to our lead synths, get analog type leads. We've also got pads. Polysynth sounds. sequence sounds. So lots and lots of different sounds available in Thor. Now Thor really is a straight-ahead synthesizer. It's not designed to record any parts into this. You can't export any audio or do anything like that. It really is a player synth that you either control from the onboard keyboard, using a MIDI keyboard, or using a sequencer that's running in your computer. If you're looking for a full-featured synthesizer that gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of capability for creating interesting tones, as well as traditional kinds of sounds, Thor is a great one to take a look at. In a recent episode of Sweetwater's iOS update, we talked about the Novation Launchkey USB keyboard, which is the one that I have here. During that segment, I mentioned that the Launchkey cannot use bus power from an iPad, and in fact I was wrong about that. The key is you have to hook it up properly in order to make bus power work. Like most USB devices, when you hook it up to a iPad, iPhone, or iPod Touch, you need to use the Apple Camera Connection Kit. The Camera Connection Kit has a 30-pin connector on it, the other side has a USB connector, and in most cases you hook the Apple Camera Connection Kit up first, then plug your USB device into that. With the Novation Launchkey, that's not the right way to do it. We need to change the order that we're connecting the devices. To use the Novation Launchkey with an Apple Camera Connection Kit, first hook up your USB cable to the back of your keyboard. Then plug the USB cable into your Apple Camera Connection Kit. Now connect that to your iOS device. When you do that, the keyboard will light up and you're ready to play. You'll know you've connected it incorrectly if you get a message on the screen saying you don't have enough power available. So if I plug this in first to the iPad and now connect the keyboard, we get a window here that says accessory unavailable. The attached accessory uses too much power, which is telling us that there's not enough bus power available to run this. I hope you've enjoyed this installment of Sweetwater's iOS update. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more apps, more hardware accessories, and we'll have tech tips on making music with your iOS devices. I'm Mitch Gallagher.